the 10 longest rivers of the world, from the deserts of Africa to the heart of the Amazon rainforest. Rivers have shaped the rise and fall of civilizations. They are the veins of our planet, carving canyons, feeding millions, and flowing with secrets millions of years old. But which rivers rule them all in size and scale? Today, we embark on a global expedition, tracing the paths of the 10 longest rivers on Earth. This is more than a geography lesson. It's a look into the lifelines of ancient empires, trade routes, and ecological wonders. We'll explore their origins, their historical importance, and the legends that flow alongside their currents. 1. The Nile River, the lifeblood of ancient civilizations. Stretching over 6,650 kilometers, or about 4,132 miles. The Nile River is traditionally regarded as the longest river in the world. It flows northward through 11 countries in northeastern Africa, from the highlands of Burundi and Rwanda to its final destination, the Mediterranean Sea in Egypt. But the Nile is more than just a river. It's a cradle of civilization, a source of life, and a witness to the rise and fall of empires. The Nile has two major tributaries, the White Nile, which originates from Lake Victoria in East Africa, and the Blue Nile, which begins in the Ethiopian highlands. These two rivers meet near Sudan's capital, Khartoum, forming the main Nile that continues its slow journey north through the arid deserts of Sudan and Egypt for over 5,000 years. The Nile has been the lifeblood of Egypt. Its annual flooding deposited nutrient-rich silt on the surrounding land, transforming a barren desert into fertile farmland. This reliable cycle allowed the development of one of the world's earliest and most enduring civilizations, ancient Egypt. Without the Nile, the mighty pyramids, temples, and cities of the pharaohs could not have existed. Egyptians worshipped the Nile as a god. Trade, transportation, and communication all flowed along its waters. It dictated their calendar, their economy, and even their myths. Papyrus boats once glided down this river, carrying goods like gold, grain, and linen. The Nile connected the upper and lower kingdoms of Egypt, unifying the region politically and culturally. In the modern era, the Nile remains vital. It provides water to over 300 million people across Africa. And Ethiopia's Grand Renaissance Dam reflects the ongoing struggle to balance development with environmental and political concerns. Countries like Egypt and Sudan rely heavily on it for drinking water, agriculture, and hydropower. The construction of massive dams, such as Egypt's Aswan High Dam, but the Nile is under threat. Rapid population growth, pollution, and climate change are straining its delicate ecosystem. The river's flow has become a source of geopolitical tension between upstream and downstream countries. Raising questions about water rights and resource sustainability, the Nile River is more than just the world's longest ribbon of water. While there's an ongoing debate over whether it's longer than the Nile, what sets the Amazon apart is its immense volume of water. It is a living archive of human history, a river that nurtured pharaohs, inspired legends, and continues to shape the lives of millions today. 2. The Amazon River, the Earth's most powerful waterway. The Amazon River, one of the most awe-inspiring rivers on Earth, flows over 6,575 kilometers, or 4,345 miles through South America. It is the largest river in the world by discharge, releasing more water than the next 7 largest rivers combined. The river originates high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, beginning as a trickle of glacial melt. It then surges eastward across Brazil, cutting through the heart of the Amazon rainforest, and finally empties into the Atlantic Ocean in a massive delta. Along its course, it passes through some of the most isolated and pristine environments on the planet. It harbors over 3,000 species of fish, including piranhas, catfish, and the massive Arapima. The Amazon is more than just water. It's a lifeline for millions of people, animals, and plants. Its basin spans over 7 million square kilometers, making it the largest drainage basin in the world. In some areas, the river can stretch over 24 miles wide during peak rainy seasons. This region is home to more than 400 indigenous tribes, many of whom still live in close harmony with nature, speaking ancient languages and practicing traditional ways of life. In terms of biodiversity, the Amazon River basin is unmatched anywhere on Earth. The surrounding rainforest is teeming with jaguars, macaws, anacondas, and countless insect and plant species, many of which remain undiscovered by science. Protecting the Amazon is protecting our shared future. Every year, the Amazon swells with seasonal rains, flooding vast areas and transforming forests into temporary lakes. Conservationists, scientists, and indigenous communities are calling for urgent action to preserve this natural treasure for future generations. These floods are vital for maintaining the forest's fertility and biological balance. However, this natural wonder is under increasing threat. Deforestation, illegal mining, pollution, and climate change are putting immense pressure on the ecosystem. The river's health is directly tied to the health of the rainforest, and by extension, the health of our entire planet. Efforts are underway to protect the Amazon, but time is running out. The Amazon River is not just a South American wonder, it's a global lifeline, symbol of raw natural power and one of the most important ecosystems on Earth. 3. The Yangtze River, China's eternal dragon. The Yangtze River, known in Chinese as the Changjiang, is the longest river in Asia and the third longest in the world. Stretching over 6,300 kilometers, or approximately 3,917 miles, flowing entirely within China, the Yangtze is more than a geographic feature. It is the spiritual and economic heart of the nation. The river rises from the Tibetan Plateau in Qinghai Province and winds its way eastward across 11 provinces, passing major cities like Chongqing, Wuhan, and Nanjing, before emptying into the East China Sea at Shanghai. It's one of the busiest ports in the world. For over 5,000 years, the Yangtze has nourished Chinese civilization along its fertile banks. Ancient dynasties flourished, philosophies were born, and legendary stories unfolded. The river provided water for rice cultivation, supported fishing communities, and acted as a vital transportation artery for goods and culture. One of the river's most dramatic stretches is the Three Gorges, a series of stunning limestone canyons that have inspired poets and painters for centuries. This area is now home to the Three Gorges Dam. It's the world's largest hydroelectric power station, while it generates vast amounts of electricity and controls flooding. It has also displaced millions and altered ecosystems. In today's China, the Yangtze remains a crucial economic corridor. It supports 1/3 of the country's population, transports hundreds of millions of tons of cargo annually, and powers industries. Cities along the river have transformed into industrial and financial hubs, forming what is known as the Yangtze River Economic Belt, a driving force behind China's rapid development. But such growth comes at a cost. The Yangtze faces serious environmental challenges: industrial pollution, overfishing, damming, and climate change threaten the delicate balance of this ecosystem. Several species, including the Yangtze River dolphin, have already gone extinct or are critically endangered. China is now taking bold steps to reverse some of the damage. Fishing bans, river cleanup initiatives, and green policies aim to restore the Yangtze's health. These efforts are crucial. It's not just for wildlife, but for the millions who depend on the river every day. The Yangtze River is more than water. It's a symbol of Chinese identity, endurance, and transformation. As it continues its ancient journey from snow-covered mountains to the sea, the Yangtze carries with it the hopes of a nation. For the Mississippi-Missouri River system, the artery of North America, spanning a staggering 6,275 kilometers, or about 3,902 miles, the Mississippi-Missouri River system is the longest in North America. From the rugged peaks of the Rocky Mountains to the Gulf of Mexico, this mighty waterway is the lifeblood of the United States, shaping its landscape, economy, and history. The system is composed of two main rivers: the Missouri River, which originates in western Montana, and the Mississippi River, which starts at Lake Itasca in Minnesota. These two merge near St. Louis, Missouri, forming a combined super river that continues southward until it drains into the Gulf of Mexico near New Orleans. Long before highways or railroads, rivers were America's primary highways. Indigenous peoples lived along these waters for thousands of years, relying on them for food, transportation, and spiritual life. Later, explorers like Lewis and Clark used the Missouri River to chart unknown territories, laying the groundwork for America's westward expansion. During the 19th century, the Mississippi River became the beating heart of American commerce. Steamboats carried cotton, timber, and grain to and from bustling river towns. The river was a symbol of prosperity, freedom, and conflict. During the Civil War, control of the Mississippi was a major strategic goal. Today, the river system continues to serve as a critical transportation corridor. Carrying hundreds of millions of tons of cargo annually, it supports vast agricultural operations, delivering corn, soybeans, and wheat to global markets. The system also supplies water to millions and plays a vital role in energy and industry. Yet, the Mississippi-Missouri River system is not without problems. Pollution, agricultural runoff, and frequent flooding pose major environmental challenges. The river's delta is shrinking, and communities along its banks face increasing threats from climate change and hurricanes. In recent years, conservation efforts have gained momentum. Projects aim to restore wetlands, reduce chemical pollution, and better manage flooding. Community-based initiatives are working to strike a balance between economic use and environmental health. The Mississippi-Missouri River system is more than a physical landmark. It's a symbol of American resilience, a witness to history, and a vital part of the nation's future. Its winding path has shaped a continent, and its legacy flows on deep, wide, and strong. 5. The Yangtze River, Siberia's wild artery flowing through the heart of Siberia. The Yangtze River is one of the world's greatest and least known waterways. At a length of 5,539 kilometers, or roughly 3,445 miles, it ranks as the fifth longest river in the world. But it holds another distinction. It is the largest river system flowing into the Arctic Ocean. The Yangtze begins its journey high in the Mongolian Sayan Mountains, where its head stream, the Yangtze River, merges with others to become a powerful force. It flows northward through vast stretches of remote Siberian wilderness, finally emptying into the Kara Sea, part of the Arctic Ocean. This river cuts through one of the least populated and most pristine ecosystems on Earth. The taiga forests, tundra, and rugged mountain valleys that surround the Yangtze are rich in biodiversity.
Oh, yeah.
It serves as a vital artery for wildlife and indigenous communities, many of whom still rely on traditional fishing and hunting practices. The native Uwinki, Kakas, and Tuvan peoples, the Yangtze has long held cultural and spiritual significance. It features in local legends and shamanic traditions, viewed not just as a river, but as a living force, a sacred pathway connecting earth and sky. In the 20th century, the Yangtze became central to Soviet industrial plans. Massive hydroelectric dams, such as the Krasnoyarsk Dam and Sayano-Shushanskaya Dam, were constructed, turning the river into a powerful energy source. These dams generate thousands of megawatts of electricity and create vast reservoirs, but also disrupt fish migration and flood large areas of land. Despite its remoteness, the Yangtze remains an important transport route for central Russia. Barges transport minerals, oil, and timber, especially during the short summer season when the river is free from ice. Its role in connecting the industrial interior of Siberia to the Arctic is unmatched. For much of the year, the Yangtze lies frozen under thick ice, especially in the northern stretches. But even in the dead of winter, life continues along its banks. Hardy communities adapt to the cold. The river becomes a frozen highway. Climate change is now affecting this ancient river. Melting permafrost, changing precipitation patterns, pollution from industrial runoff are raising concerns about the long-term health of the Yangtze and its fragile ecosystem. The Yangtze River is a story of contrasts. Wild yet harnessed, ancient yet threatened. It flows through a landscape few will ever see, but upon which the world's climate, biodiversity, and history quietly depend. 6. The Yellow River. China's cradle and curse and destroyed through the ages, earning it another darker name. China's sorrow. The Yellow River, or Huanghe, is China's second longest river and the sixth longest in the world. measuring around 5,464 kilometers, or 3,395 miles. Known as the cradle of Chinese civilization, this ancient river has both nurtured. The Yellow River begins in the Bayanhar Mountains on the Tibetan Plateau, flowing eastward through 9 provinces before emptying into the Bahai Sea. Along its winding path, it crosses the Loess Plateau, where fine silt gives the river its distinctive golden yellow color and its name, over 5,000 years ago. Early Chinese dynasties like the Xia and Shang emerged along its fertile banks. The Yellow River Basin became the birthplace of Chinese culture, home to ancient inventions, early writing systems, and bronze tools that would shape the future of East Asia. Its waters nourished millions of acres of farmland, providing irrigation for rice and millet crops, and supporting population growth and dynastic power. But the same fertile silt that makes the region rich has also made the river one of the most dangerous in history. The Yellow River has changed course dozens of times, sometimes shifting hundreds of miles. Over the centuries, it has caused catastrophic floods, wiping out entire cities and killing millions. In 1887 alone, the Yellow River flood killed nearly 1 million people, one of the deadliest natural disasters in human history. To tame its fury, China has constructed thousands of levees, canals, and dams, including the Shaolongdi and Sanmangxia dams, aiming to control floods and store water. While these efforts have helped, they have also disrupted ecosystems and increased sediment buildup in reservoirs. Today, the Yellow River continues to support agriculture, power generation, and industry. But it's also under threat. Water, scarcity, pollution, and overuse have caused parts of the river to run dry during certain seasons. A stark warning in one of the world's most populous countries. China has launched ambitious efforts to restore the river's health, implementing strict pollution controls, water-saving technologies, and reforestation along the riverbanks. The future of the Huanghe depends on balancing economic growth with environmental preservation. The Yellow River remains a symbol of endurance, culture, and caution. A river that built a civilization, but demands respect in return. Its legacy flows not only through China's land, but through its very identity. 7. The Obyurtish River System, Siberia's lifeline to the Arctic. Deep in the wild expanse of Siberia flows a massive and often overlooked giant, the Obyurtish River System, measuring approximately 5,410 kilometers, or about 3,364 miles. It is the 7th longest river system in the world, and one of the most critical waterways in northern Eurasia. This river system is composed of 2 great rivers, the Irtysh, which begins in the Altai Mountains of China, and the Oby River, which forms near Novosibirsk in Russia. The Irtysh flows northwest through Kazakhstan, joins the Oby in western Siberia, and together they journey north to the Gulf of Oby, an arm of the Arctic Ocean. The Obyurtish flows through some of the most remote and rugged terrain on Earth, the taiga and tundra of Siberia. Its drainage basin covers over 3 million square kilometers, making it one of the largest river basins in the world. This vast area supports boreal forests, wetlands, and an astonishing range of wildlife. For centuries, the Conti-Mansi and other indigenous peoples have relied on these rivers for fishing, transportation, and cultural identity. The rivers have always been lifelines, connecting scattered settlements in a land where roads are few and winter can last for 8 months. In modern times, the Obyurtish River System has taken on immense economic importance. Western Siberia is rich in natural gas and oil. The rivers serve as key conduits for transporting these valuable resources. Cities like Surgut and Nizhnevartovsk have grown around the energy industry, which fuels much of Russia's economy. The rivers are navigable for thousands of kilometers during the short ice-free season, typically between May and October. In this window, they become arteries of trade, moving timber, minerals, fuel, and goods between isolated regions and major industrial hubs. However, this development comes at a price. Oil spills, pipeline leaks, and pollution threaten the fragile Arctic environment. Climate change is also having a profound impact. Melting permafrost and altering water levels, ice cycles, and wildlife patterns. Efforts are underway to monitor and mitigate the damage. Environmental groups, scientists, and local communities are pushing for cleaner extraction methods, protected areas, and sustainable river management. The Oberdish River system is more than a waterway. It's a symbol of the vastness, its resilience, and hidden power of the Russian north. From its alpine origins to the icy Arctic shore, it carries the story of both nature's grandeur and mankind's ambition. The De La Plata River System, South America's artery of life stretching over 4,880 kilometers, or about 3.7 miles. The De La Plata River System is the 8th longest river system in the world, and the 2nd longest in South America after the Amazon. It flows through Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina. It's forming a vast network that sustains agriculture, transport, and millions of lives. The system begins as the Rio Grande in Brazil, merging with the river to form the mighty river. It then winds southward, gathering strength from major tributaries like the Paraguay River and Uruguay River, before emptying into the De La Plata, the largest estuary in the world, between Argentina and Uruguay. The river basin spans over 2.8 million square kilometers, encompassing rich ecosystems, from tropical wetlands like the Pantanal in Brazil to grasslands and forests. These habitats are home to thousands of species, including capybaras, caimans, giant otters, and toucans. For indigenous peoples such as the Waza Sacred Waterway, and a vital source of food and transport, in the 16th century, European explorers like Cabot and Wand navigated the De La Plata estuary, marking the start of European colonization in the region. Over time, the river system became central to the rise of modern South American nations. Major cities, including Rosario and Buenos Aires, developed along its banks. The waterway became a hub for commerce, culture, and conflict, shaping the political geography of the continent. Today, the river powers massive hydroelectric plants, including Dam, one of the largest in the world, shared by Brazil and Paraguay. These projects generate renewable electricity for millions, but also raise environmental concerns, including displaced communities and disrupted fish migration. Barges and ships transport grain, soybeans, beef, and minerals to Atlantic ports. The river system is a major trade corridor. Argentina and Brazil depend heavily on this waterway to move exports and feed their economies. However, it is under threat. Agricultural runoff, damming, deforestation, and climate change have led to severe droughts, pollution, and declining fish stocks. The health of the river has become a pressing issue for environmentalists and governments alike. Efforts are underway to revitalize the river, including sustainable farming practices, reforestation, and tighter regulations on industrial discharge. Cross-border cooperation is key to preserving this shared natural treasure. The De La Plata River system is more than a geographical feature. It's the artery of South American civilization, carrying centuries of history, culture, and commerce. 9. The Congo River. Africa's deepest and most mysterious waterway in the heart of Central Africa flows a river of staggering power, mystery, and beauty. The Congo River, stretching 4,700 kilometers. It is the 9th longest river in the world and the 2nd longest in Africa. But more importantly, it holds the title of the deepest river on Earth, plunging to depths of over 220 meters. The Congo River rises in the highlands of southeastern DRC, curving across the Congo Basin, one of the planet's largest rainforests. Before rushing toward the Atlantic Ocean, its massive basin spans over 4 million square kilometers, second only to the Amazon. The river flows through the 2nd largest rainforest in the world, a biodiversity hotspot home to lowland gorillas, bonobos, okapis, and over 10,000 species of plants. The Congo Basin is vital for regulating the global climate, absorbing huge amounts of carbon dioxide each year. For countless generations, the river has been the lifeline of indigenous communities like the Mbuti and Luba peoples, who rely on it for transportation, food, water, and spiritual connection. The river's rhythms shape their daily lives and ancient traditions. In the 19th century, the Congo River was a key route for European explorers like Henry Morton Stanley, who mapped its treacherous waters. This sparked the scramble for Africa, and under King Leopold II of Belgium, the Congo became the site of one of history's most brutal colonial regimes. Today, the Congo River is a source of both promise and peril. It powers massive hydroelectric projects like the Inga dams, which supply electricity to large parts of the DRC. The river also supports major cities like Kinshasa and Brazzaville, which face each other across its banks. But the river remains wild and dangerous. With over 30 cataracts and powerful rapids, especially in the Livingston Falls region, parts of the Congo remain virtually unnavigable and largely unexplored. Modern threats to the Congo include illegal logging, mining, poaching, and pollution. Despite its remoteness, the Congo River is under increasing pressure from economic exploitation and population growth. International and local organizations are working to preserve the Congo's ecosystems through reforestation, protected reserves, and sustainable development initiatives. The river's health is critical not only for Africa, but for the entire planet. The Congo River is a place of untamed nature, ancient cultures, and profound challenges. It is Africa's deep and powerful pulse, mysterious, life-giving, and essential. 10. The Amur River, Asia's great borderland flowing through the heart of northeastern Asia. The Amur River stretches for 4,444 kilometers, making it the 10th longest river in the world. It forms the natural border between Russia and China and serves as a critical waterway for both countries. The Amur River begins in the Mongolian Plateau, where it collects waters from the Argun and Shilka rivers. It flows eastward through Russia's Far East and northeastern China, before emptying into the Sea of Okhotsk in the Pacific Ocean. The Amur River Basin is home to a vast array of ecosystems, from temperate forests to wetlands and grasslands. It flows through the Russian Far East and the northeastern parts of China, sustaining diverse wildlife, including Amur tigers, Siberian cranes, and the Chinese alligator. It is considered one of the world's most biodiverse regions, with many species found nowhere else on Earth. For centuries, the river has supported the Awenki Nenai and other indigenous peoples of the region who have relied on the Amur for transportation, fishing, and sustenance. It is central to their way of life, as the river serves as a highway through the dense forests and vast plains of the Amur Basin. Today, the Amur River continues to play a key role in the economic and cultural life of Russia and China. The cities of Khabarovsk and Hiha are bustling trade hubs, where goods flow between the two nations, and the border allows for significant cultural exchange. The Amur River is crucial for shipping, as it provides access to ports in the Sea of Okhotsk. It is also vital for agriculture in the Amur Basin, supporting the growth of crops such as rice, wheat, and soybeans. The surrounding forests also provide timber, making the region an important economic zone for both countries. However, the Amur faces growing environmental threats. Deforestation, pollution, and the impacts of climate change are putting pressure on its ecosystems. The river's water levels are increasingly unpredictable, and seasonal flooding and droughts threaten agriculture and wildlife. To protect the river, both Russia and China have engaged in joint environmental programs, including cross-border conservation projects and monitoring water quality. The Amur's health is essential for the long-term well-being of the people and ecosystems that depend on it. The Amur River is not just a geographical feature, it is a lifeline for millions. A river that defines borders, nurtures life, and shapes the culture of the land it crosses. From its remote source to the edge of the Pacific, it carries the ancient stories of East Asia and Russia. These rivers are more than lines on a map. They are storytellers of Earth's past, cradles of life, and harbingers of the future. As climate change, pollution, and urban expansion threaten their balance, we are reminded. Protecting rivers is protecting our shared history. If you enjoyed this journey down the world's longest rivers, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more epic history documentaries every week. Share this video with your fellow explorers and keep the current of curiosity flowing.